It's 1 p.m. on counting day in Delhi, and as things stand, the Aam Aadmi Party leads in well over 50 seats in the 70-member Delhi Assembly. This presents Arvind Kejriwal with the second landslide in 5 years, returning him probably in all likelihood to the Chief Minister's chair. To make sense of these results, we have with us Sanjay Pugalia, editorial director at Quintillion Media. Sanjay, let me first start with your headline takeaways from the numbers as they stand right now.
Soon after CAA, BJP made it a referendum kind of election, even though it was a small little local election. And from that perspective, it is a very bad news today for BJP that its entire new aggressive plan to polarize Delhi has failed. That is the biggest takeaway. The second takeaway is that it is possible to get votes on the issue of or vanilla issues of development, bijli, sadak, pani. That is what Arvind Kejriwal totally stuck to, and it was a very risky game because there was no excitement, no provocation, no agitation in this kind of narrative, and he could prove that people can be actually attracted towards voting for him third time actually.
Okay, I just want to chart that 3 times that he's done. The first surge in performance in November-December 2013 when they got 28 seats. That was put down to the novelty value of a brand new party at a time when there was disappointment with the political class as a whole. In 2015, he won an unprecedented mandate on the back of apologizing for quitting the Chief Minister's chair. The BJP had called him a Bhagoda at that point of time. And in that intervening year, the party had done groundwork at the Mohalla level in the intervening months. In 2019, he's presented a full 5-year record of what he's saying on work done on bijli, sadak, pani issues, and chosen to step away from the confrontational mode he'd taken with the central government before the MCD election of 2017. So you're seeing 3 different avatars and the people reinforcing their mandate into this man. What's it about him that people are able to identify somebody who they want to see back in power?
Look, he's very smart, and he, in many ways, copies and mirrors the strategy of winning electoral machine like BJP. He is a good communicator. He is shrewd enough to change track when he needs to, and that is why the shrill and always aggressive who was attacking BJP and Mr. Narendra Modi, he left that job and completely went quiet, and he became so sober. Now he is no more shrill. He speaks very softly, and he doesn't say anything which is confronting. And he has a track record where, because he has delivered the governance as he defines via free electricity and tap water and hospitals and mohalla clinics and good schools with facilities, he has actually visibly delivered these things. So Delhi voters are quite enamored, especially the bottom of pyramid voters. But another myth that Arvind Kejriwal breaks in this election, that comprehensively all kind of people, all Hindus have voted for him. Why he has achieved so? He stuck to his narrative. He did not fall in the trap of the provocation from the BJP side because of Shaheen Bagh, because of Gaddar, because of Biryani, because of Bharat, Pakistan, Hindu, Musalman. And he presented his softer Hindutva side also by reciting, he's a very bad singer, but reciting Hanuman Chalisa. So he is a strange phenomena who gets a large chunk of same voters to vote for him who voted for Mr. Modi in last 2 Lok Sabha elections. So he is smart enough to communicate to these people that he's somewhere right of the center kind of politician. He doesn't use the typical left, liberal, secular lingo when he approaches his voter.
We will get to the point that the voter for Kejriwal this time around, back when CSDS conducted a poll after the Lok Sabha election, even then people were openly saying that I voted for Modi today, but 8 months later I will vote for Kejriwal. I'll get to that in just a bit and how that is happening in different parts of the country. Before that, I want to understand a little more of his personality and the makeup of the party as it stands right now. This was a party that came out of a movement of India against corruption. Into the 2015 election, it still had a whole galaxy of what it saw as its leaders. This is now a one-leader party with one deputy. Everybody else has pretty much been purged out of the party in the last 3 years. In the mold that the way the Gandhi family runs the Congress, the way Mr. Modi with Mr. Shah runs the BJP, this is a party like that, and you see that at the regional level. Can I ask then that the idea of the Aam Aadmi Party was anybody can come in and become part of the leadership of this party? That is no longer the USP. This is now another party like any other, जहाँ जो अच्छा leader लगे उसके लिए वोट दे जा रहे.
Exactly. So he ran a very successful romantic movement. Then he realized that politics is a different ball game. He is a quick learner and clever enough to totally change his persona. And now, despite being first generation political entrepreneur, he appears to us like a thoroughbred political animal where opportunism, where symbolism, where sloganeerism, everything falls is part of the big game plan that is electoral politics, and he has deftly played it. If you are expecting him to be Democrat, he is not a Democrat. We have seen the examples of good people being thrown out of the party. We can rationalize it at a different level. But what he proves, which is very true for Indian real politics, that it is about one man, his ideas, his sustaining power, his communication abilities, and he can craft such a big thing. Look, after all, he is chief minister of a half state called Delhi, which I call is a glorified municipality. But see the mind space he dominates. He equals, in fact surpasses many more strong regional satraps who have more political backing, who have more bigger support base in various states. But because he is national capital Delhi, and he is smart, and he checks the all the correct tick box, he checks out very clearly that you have to be a good orator, you have to have a grassroots worker at the ground, you have to run your social media campaign nicely, you have to use technology and data cleverly. He is an engineer, he knows all of that. So maybe a small outfit, but he copies and competes with BJP's highly sophisticated machinery at equal footing. Many other national parties, including Congress Party, many other regional parties have not learned this game. So it is Arvind Kejriwal. Do not expect him to be very Democrat. He is running a tightly controlled machine, exactly the way Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah are running BJP today.
Turning to understanding this result for the BJP now, and a larger trend that we're seeing around the axis of the BJP as the primary party for the last 2 years. In the 90s and the 2000s, Karnataka was probably one state that you would see a split vote between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha elections held in close proximity to each other. But now if you compare the assembly elections held over the last 2 years, starting from 2.5 years, Gujarat, Karnataka, the three that the BJP lost in December 2018, those held along with the Lok Sabha election like Orissa, West Bengal to an extent, in the trend line shown from 2011 into next year, you're seeing a split vote. You're seeing the BJP with Mr. Modi on the ballot being able to fetch 15-20% more than its core base and win Lok Sabha seats, but unable to replicate that at the assembly level. What does it say about the voter that is not necessarily a party voter now, but a voter in favor of a leader at a different level each time?
So voter clearly differentiates between the two elections. Where Mr. Modi is not on the ballot, he behaves differently, and he is more and more voting on real, tangible, serious issues rather than rhetorics. That is being proved again and again. That is the example, the evidence is Chhattisgarh or Delhi or Haryana or Jharkhand are clear examples where BJP got Lok Sabha support in Lok Sabha, but no support in local assembly elections. So now the BJP faces the biggest test and challenge. Is it a law of diminishing returns that has fully got activated on the BJP? Or is it a Hindutva fatigue? Or this whole, the first round, that people were very enamored about this politics of nationalism, oblique Hindutva, oblique Hindu-Muslim divide, these kind of binaries. Now people are getting to see the reality behind it, and they know the cost that a country or a society or a community or a state pays. So maybe despite Delhi being BJP's headquarter, and traditionally the Delhi was with BJP and Jansangh all through except last 22 odd years. I think voters are becoming more and more discerning. They are punishing people and they are moving towards more real issues. So here you talk about direct benefit transfer. Arvind Kejriwal actually does it on the ground. So people are differentiating between these things. And of course, I am left with this question, and I do not have the answer, and we will have to really understand what happens hereafter. Is that there is a Hindutva fatigue or no?
Okay, so then I want to break it down, right? Because I want to break it down time-wise. In the absence of projecting a leader and with a particular list of things that they said they would do to voters, they were able to take down Bhupender Singh Hooda in 2014. They were able to win in Jharkhand without a leader. They were able to completely sweep Jammu, that brought them into power in Jammu and Kashmir. They were able to do that in Maharashtra against the 15-year-old alliance of the Congress and the NCP. At that time, no leader projected. The same further on in Assam, which later Mr. Sonowal became CM, whereas the power behind that seat was seen as Mr. Sharma. In state after state, the first time round, they were able to take out as the challenger, as they should have been in Delhi, even without a particular face, take down the party in power and win. That has stopped happening. I'm trying to understand why that has stopped happening for the BJP and what that might mean for the next year or two in other states that they're going to challenge. So I'm just trying to understand the change dynamics of where earlier it didn't matter whether they were projecting a leader or not. As long as they came through saying, here's what we'll give you, voters, we did vote for them, but they're not doing so anymore in the last 2 years.
Yeah, very true. So the first phase, which was a very long phase, people were totally enamored with the leadership of Mr. Modi and the rising BJP, but now they are getting into the real brass tacks issues. And it was an extended, long honeymoon period where you will put what is I forgot the name of the chief minister in Jharkhand.
Sorry, you had Hemant Soren, just Raghubar Das replaced Hemant Soren, if I remember right.
Raghubar Das and Khattar kind of experiment worked in the first round. In second round, people questioned it violently, and they said, look, give us a face and come up with the grassroots real leaders, not the leader that you will choose. So this high command approach, the typical old Congress approach, is not working. That we saw in Haryana, we saw in Jharkhand. We did not see in real sense because this was a coalition politics in Maharashtra. But in Delhi, pro-incumbency of Arvind Kejriwal, his direct outreach, his constant interaction with the voter worked in his favor. So BJP will have to really rethink of its strategy, that you are leaving a Harshvardhan, a household name in BJP, a Vijay Goyal kind of name, and you are bringing Manoj Tiwari as BJP chief, and you are not projecting any chief ministerial candidate. People have not liked that. And plus, there was a pro-incumbency about Arvind Kejriwal. So now it will be more difficult for BJP to not have a CM face or a clarity about how state unit has to be run, and just trying to dominate everything from Delhi may not work in various states. Talking about other states, Bihar is the next big example. And this kind of defeat will actually make Nitish Kumar happy, who was very skeptical how BJP is going to deal with him in next assembly election. Followed by that election, you have Bengal. In BJP in Bengal is a challenger. They are not part of the government. So they may have an opportunity of a different kind, but in Bihar, they are part of the establishment where they do not enjoy the totally trusted relationship with Nitish Kumar. So in this process, BJP loses in Bihar in terms of bargain power also.
I'm going to play devil's advocate about what's going to happen in Bihar. Yes, it makes the BJP more reliant on Nitish Kumar, but by recent experience, would there be some apprehension within the BJP saying if we give him half to contest and he does well, what if there's a Maharashtra repeat कि वो दूसरे side चली जाए?
Yeah, very right. These are the suspicions they mutually have, but I do not think that BJP after Delhi defeat will take a risk of going it alone. BJP would have liked to do that because they really want to expand, and that is why they decided to dump Uddhav Thackeray and they did not come under his negotiating points. Similarly, in Bihar, that was the ideal scenario BJP was looking for. But after Delhi defeat, I don't think BJP will be very theoretical about it. They will be quite clever and try to keep Nitish Kumar on their side. But Nitish Kumar switching side is always possible. Yeah, one cannot rule that out.
Okay, switching from Bihar to its neighboring state, West Bengal, there has been commentary that much of what's happened legislatively is in the build-up to that election. The immediate, I know, analysis and post-op 1 year forward on the day of counting in Delhi might be a bit of a stretch, but still, the idea that you've tried to polarize about certain minority areas within the electorate, you've tried to make sure that local issues and the local governance points are not, you'd want the BJP has asked the voter to fetch and focus on issues that are national issues, stayed away from projecting a leader. This is pretty much what they're getting into in about a little over a year from now. In West Bengal, well, they'll again have a two-term chief minister, a chief minister who has a lockdown base, who is very, very, very out there and has a public image of constantly being out on the road, is identifiable in that way, like Mr. Kejriwal is. So is the BJP strategy going to shift as a result of these last few elections, going into the one state that they want to win?
True. So I don't think that we should extrapolate any one state result and try to predict any other state election which is coming in the future. In, for example, you are talking about West Bengal, because BJP is challenger there. BJP would still believe. So if you are, one assumes that after Delhi defeat, will BJP kind of go slow on the politics of polarization and the aggressive Hindutva agenda? This is a good question to ask, but as far as I understand the BJP, in West Bengal, BJP is not going to do that. BJP will maintain the same kind of high-octane campaign, attacking Mamta, proving that she is Pakistani, and there is a danger to the entire country because of certain districts have lots and lots of Bangladeshi population. And in that context, you know, YCA, NPR, NRC, the mega game plan is at play. So I do not think that the learning that BJP will take from Delhi is to go softer on aggressive Hindutva agenda. As far as Bengal is concerned, they are going to be much more shrill about it, hoping that it will work, because their data, their internal assessment about Bengal tells them that BJP is going to do very well in West Bengal, even though the independent observers and the opposition parties believe that Mamta is fighting them each booth by booth, each seat by seat, and it will be very difficult for BJP to win that state.
All right. On that note, Mr. Pugalia, thank you very much for making time for BloombergQuint's viewers, making sense of the Delhi Assembly elections as they unfold, what that trend brings into today and what it brings forward for the next two elections that the BJP will face going into other states. If you have been, thank you for watching.